Hi, my name is Thomas Scott. I'm a franchise consultant with Franchise Performance Group here in Nashville, Tennessee. One of the things I want to talk about today is why franchise lead generation is a mistake. You might think, wow, a mistake. I'm spending $250,000 a year to generate interest in my franchise opportunity. And that's true. Companies across franchising by the thousands spend an average of $200 to $240 or $250,000 a year to generate leads. And a lead really is contact information. So one of the things I might ask you if you're a franchise development person is how many leads does it really take to generate a single franchisee? We ask that question in a lot of our training sessions. And what we get are a range of answers ranging from 1 in 80 to 1 in 100, 1 in 250, 1 in 300 inquiries. It's a very large number. The real truth is it only takes one lead to sell one franchise and recruit one top performing franchisee. And so that's why we like to say you really should be in the buyer generation business. Lead generation is a mistake because if you're generating leads, it means you may not be doing what you need to do to generate and recruit successful franchise owners. And franchise buyers, the people who actually buy, who have the money, who are qualified, who are passionate about your business and a fit, who will take the business, follow the system, and do very well, are very different in their online behavior from people who will just fill a form out or request information casually. And so if you're thinking clearly about the tactics and strategies, beginning with your website, there's a very different marketing approach to how you generate buyers from how you might just generate a large number of leads so that you could hopefully kind of close 1 in 100 or 1 in 250. And here are some ways that buyers and leads are different. And we see this because we track IP addresses on all of our websites and we understand the behavior patterns that buyers use online. And it's really fascinating when you see. So we find that there are really 3 distinct groups of people who use your franchise website. There are visitors, people who come and don't fill a lead form out. There are people who fill forms out or use the tracking phone number to call the salesperson and enter the sales process but don't buy. We call those people just leads because it's just contact information. And then there are people that actually buy the franchise, sign an agreement, pay money, and become a franchisee, and those are buyers. The really fascinating thing about buyers is their behavior on the website is much, much different. And it's true not just on your website, but on all online strategies. Anywhere else that they would look, you'll see the same behavior patterns. What we see are buyers spend an immense amount of time reading information on your website. For instance, the average franchise buyer on a recruitment website spends between 49 and 50 minutes on a website and reads 33 pages of information. It's a really substantial read. It goes against conventional wisdom that people are in a hurry, that they don't have time to read information. But what we found from years of doing buyer generation and helping brands create breakthroughs is that real franchise buyers will read everything you publish because they have a very large appetite for very specific information. And so that has real implications for how you design your website. It has implications for the copy you put on your franchise portal page. It has from where you spend your dollars. I mean, it's a very different process for marketing and advertising to generate interest for buyers than if you were doing the kind of best practice lead generation tactics. Those two are very different. If you really want to be in the buyer generation business, one of the kind of things you have to do to play that game is you really need to have an article format website that has at least 30 to 40, sometimes even 50 pages of content, because that's what people need and they want when they're trying to wrap their mind around whether your franchise opportunity is the one to buy as compared to your competitors. You also have to have the ability in your marketing strategy and the budget to drive traffic to your website. It's not just traffic from your consumer website, it's things like paid search, portal strategies, email campaigns, PR campaigns, online content, article placement, lots and lots of SEO, a wide range of tactics and strategies to drive people to. If you think about it, you leave a bunch of breadcrumbs online in all the ways and places people might look for your franchise opportunity, because lead generation at its basis is engaging people who want what you have to sell when and where they're looking for it. And today that means they're looking online on their smartphone, on their tablet, on their desktop. And you leave breadcrumbs so that no matter how they search, with whatever language they use and the questions they ask, they can immediately get back to your website. And you can do a good job of satisfying their appetite on the website. That's the key difference in buyer generation and lead generation. And so the mistake people make often in buyer generation is that they want to wet, and this is driven mostly by franchise recruiters, like who are scared and fearful that they won't have anything to say if you give too much information out. They really try to whet the appetite, to tease somebody to get to your website to fill out a form. But that's a failed strategy. We see over and over with brands that we do analytics on that just doesn't work, and there's no basis for that fear. In fact, when you publish a lot of content that's relative to what people want to know, they actually opt in larger numbers, and you get more engaged candidates that go further in the process. One of the functions your recruiting website does today is it actually takes the place of the first conversation the salesperson has with the candidate. And that's something that makes salespeople very uncomfortable, and recruiters squirm in their seats a little bit. But that's the truth. I mean, people make a large percentage of their decision to buy is made way before they ever talk to the salesperson or opt in. And your salesperson really has been fired from that first conversation. The last thing I'd want to say about marketing to people is if you hire a copywriter or an advertising firm or marketing agency to write copy, chances are they're going to really screw it up. The type of content that you need to engage a buyer is journalistic style. It's the type of thing you'd read in a business newspaper, maybe perhaps the Wall Street Journal or magazine. It's very conversational, kind of factual, interesting to read content. Storytelling, particularly in a journalism style, is a very specific skill. It's very difficult sometimes to get that done. But when you can pull it off and tell your story in a journalistic style using journalists, not marketing people, you'll find that the power of a well-told story is candidates don't actually realize they're being sold. Like, it's just interesting and they can relate to the content. And just as an example, so let's say that carpet cleaning is a very big industry with lots of players in the franchise industry, and we've worked with quite a few brands in that space. What's more interesting to you? If I said you can clean up with ChemDry as a carpet cleaning business, how does that leave you if you were thinking about buying that franchise? What if I told you Robert Harris, the founder of ChemDry, was on a plane almost 30 years ago and had a very important business meeting to go to and spilled part of his dinner on his tie, brand new tie, and he had to go right from the airport to the business meeting, so he was horrified. So the flight attendant came over and used club soda to take the stain out, and he was amazed. He's like, "Wait, you mean club soda will take a stain out?" And she explained that was a wives' tale, that she had been taught that by her mom. And he had this great entrepreneurial vision to say, I wonder if you could use club soda on a large scale to clean people's carpets and upholstery and floor coverings and other items. And hence, ChemDry was born almost 30 years ago, and now is the largest of the carpet cleaning franchises with over 4,000 locations. Which one of those is a more interesting story to you?